Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to League of Europe. We are here tonight for Division 2, round number 2 of the Championship as we take in the British Grand Prix from, of course, the Silverstone International Circuit. My name is James Head. I'm going to be taking you through the stream here tonight, and I'm going to be your solo commentator for tonight as well, because Mr. Nexus Bunnies is sadly away. He is spending his time with his girlfriend's family, which is totally understandable, because I would probably be doing the same thing right now if it wasn't for League of Europe Division 2 commentary. But you've got me tonight for the next hour and a half, and hopefully it is going to be a good hour and a half at that. Better than what England did, of course, in the rugby earlier on, but let's get on with things here tonight. There are currently 16 drivers in the lobby. Apparently we are waiting for IRT Ennis to join the lobby, but apparently he's on the bus. He's on the bus, which if he's living in Britain, which I think he is, the bus will probably be late and he'll probably turn up about 20 minutes in towards qualifying. We are waiting on a Pewdie Boy as well, but it looks like he's having issues potentially with internet as well. But what we can do, of course, is run through a very zoomed-in championship standings coming into tonight. It is ET8 Chris who leads the way on 31 points, getting Matthias after that mistake through the final corner from the Dutchman. Chris, in the end, taking the race win. Matthias there in second on 26. Chris taking the full amount of 31 points, including the fastest lap point there as well. Demolter in third on 21, then Tope in fourth on 18, Batuka in fifth on 16, then Larkin in sixth on 14, Rick in seventh on 12, Jay Hings in eighth on 10, then Coxey ninth on 8, reserve driver, of course, along with Matthias. YY in 10th on 6, and then Benji S in 11th on 5, Matt Tibos in 12th on 4, Farrell in 13th on 3, and then J. Cole in 14th on 2. If you're wondering why we're not getting 1 point either on the bottom of the graphic, it's because there's 30 drivers in Division 2, and I probably couldn't fit all of them on in terms of the graphic from literally taken from the standings on the website. So, and up until that point, it was all very, very good. But there was 14 finishes last week, and there was no 1 point available. So that is why we've got everyone on 2 points and above coming into tonight here, of course, in Britain. And it's going to be a really interesting race, I think, here tonight. We've got the potential for maybe a throw-up in terms of the weather, where the rain normally falls in Britain. It is quite heavy. Maybe the case here in Division 2 tonight. I'm definitely looking forward to my Division 3 race a little bit later on, where I actually won out on track in Division 4 last season around here, all to be done by Major Falcon, who was my teammate for this season, but also my rival last season as well. And he ended up beating me in the championship, which was never fun at all. But hopefully we will be getting going very soon indeed. As I say, we are waiting currently for one more driver, I believe, to join the lobby. In fact, no, we're not, because we can go into the lobby now. Everyone is going to begin to ready up. If I can find the right thing, that'll be perfect. But we are now getting into the lobby, as you can see. We have got the LOE logo there at the top right-hand side of your screen as well. I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller. It is in a square format, so hopefully it is all okay in terms of the streaming, and hopefully you'll be able to see everything as well in the top right hand corner, including telemetry and all that jazz. Now get into the lobby for 16 drivers about to do business and battle around here, of course, in Britain. One of these tracks where I absolutely love to commentate over. We can have a look though at the track map in question coming into tonight. 5.8 kilometres in length, 3.6 well, 18 turns awaiting the drivers out on track. 2 DRS zones, one down the start-finish straight, one formerly down the start-finish straight in towards turn 1, one down the Wellington straight in towards turn number 6 at Brooklands, and then one down in towards Stowe at turn 15, down the Hanger straight in towards turn 15. Of course, based on a former British airfield as well. 2 counties actually bordering here at Silverstone, Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, and we are part of that. And it's going to be really, really strong, I think, as I say, in terms of racing here tonight. I'm definitely looking forward to my race a little bit later on. As I say, I've got quite strong form coming into tonight, picking up a P6 in the end. But we are loading into the lobby, and that is a delightful scene here in qualifying early on. It is beautiful blue skies and sunshine. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Exactly what we want in terms of the action currently out on track. And we are about to get going in terms of the first cars coming out on track. Unless there is rain forecast, of course, in qualifying, we should see drivers come out very, very shortly indeed. Probably in the next 20 seconds or so, I would think. But judging by the lack of people coming out of the pit lane right now, I have a feeling there might be a few conditions that are going to be added into the race. We are waiting for IRT Ennis potentially to join the lobby, which is why I think drivers might not be running up right now. But judging by everyone in the lobby at the minute and staying in the pit lane, unless there is a timing glitch on my end, which I don't think there is, it looks like we're going to get a bit of rain in the race potentially, which is going to be very intriguing indeed. If that is the case, I'm sure someone will confirm that to me in due course. We have got the first car now coming out on track, and I believe it is looking like a Williams of Patuka. The Finn is going to be the first man out on track, running now down in towards the exit of the pit lane. Very dodgy pit lane coming on the exit actually here. Clipped that inside curb like I did and picked up some wing damage around here before the safety car obviously got deployed the last lap in Division 4. I picked up some wing damage coming through there. Put it this way, not entertaining at all. But we have got Patuka and Ariel Scream, the first two out on track. Beautiful blue skies and sunshine, adding to the delight here, of course, of the Silverstone circuit and of the British fans. Ariel Tope has joined the session there as well. Matt Tibos also on an out lap at this stage as well. Should be expecting, in terms of lap times, I would think, quite a significant finding from first lap onto the final lap that they may set in qualifying. Potentially as well, we could see drivers on a set of medium compound tyres in qualifying. Have a feeling though, if it is going to be dry, we will see a two-stop, potentially medium, soft could be the potential go around here, or soft, medium, softs is what that is a strategy that I was testing out a little bit earlier, and definitely one that is worth going for as well. But we're right on board with Patuka, running down the straight now in towards 10:15. Hope you're all doing well there in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from and let me know who you're supporting in the chat. Patuka now coming in toward the left-hander of the final corner. The Finn, of course, looking to try and follow in the footsteps of a good result last week. Now coming through the final corner, on the run toward the line. In towards turn number 1, he will come at Abbey and Farm. And then into the village section at turn number 3. Patuka flies through Abbey at turn 1, then through the left-hander turn 2 at Farm. In toward the village section at turn number 3. Very hard into the brakes. Third gear maintained coming through this part of the track. Now down to second, into the loop, back up to third, just to try and maintain that mid-level traction coming through the corner. Now on the run down the Wellington Straight through Aintree Corner, on the run down the Wellington Straight. Well, they used to horse, of course. Wellington Bombers back in World War II with a 27.4 in the first sector. Patuka is flying early on in this qualifying session. Now coming to the right-hander of Luffield. Again, a corner that you want to try and take that in terms of mid-level traction. In around a high third, maybe even a low fourth gear. We saw Patuka in a low fourth. Now up in towards Copse Corner, the fastest part of the circuit, Downs actually, into 7th gear, caught the inside curb there. Not what I like to do around there. I like to take full flat 7th gear coming through there and then get the traction coming outside of the corners. Patuka now comes through the right-hander of Maggot to Beckett, now through in towards Chapel on the run down the Hangar Straight, 102.7. In that middle sector, it's not too shabby, but it's not too quick either, as Patuka now comes into the right-hander of Stowe at turn 15, looking very, very good as he does this, now in towards the Vale and Club Chicane, turns 16, 17 and 18. The final 3 corners now beckoning on Patuka, comes through the final corner at turn 17. On the run to the line, he will come, and Patuka with 26.1 to start off the night. Not too bad there at all. Trying to see what Matt Tibos is doing on a lap right now as well. He was one of the next to come across the line. Screen goes in behind, goes ahead actually of Patuka, was behind the man on track and goes 3/10 clear. Patuka second. Matt Tibos should be third, I think, with this lap time. Actually, Better's into second, 25.8, so good lap time there by Matt Tibos, former League Racing winner, of course, around here in League of Europe back in the day. Ben JS is on a lap as well, coming through the middle sector. The man who supports Aston Villa, even, not Aston Martin. Aston Villa, of course, in real life. He'll be hoping to try and leap bounds into the Champions League position, potentially, with a good result here tonight. But he's there in P10 right now, and he's not on a lap at this stage. We're right on board with EC8 Chris, who is on a lap. Seeing that comes in towards Cox. Flying through Copse Corner at turn number 9, in towards now turns 10, 11, 12, 13. They come really at you, coming through this middle sector. Flying punches like Tyson Fury in a sparring session! As ETA Chris nearly makes an absolute dog's dinner, coming out through Maggots and Beckett's there. Good recovery, and he's now on the run towards Stowe. All of this time, though, was going to be lost from that part of the track. His setup is very much oversteery. Coming through that part of the track, it's not going to be done quite well for Chris, potentially in the race. Now coming through the final corner, has that lap and that mistake cost him? No, 25.4. Great lap there by ETA Chris, goes clear by 0.4 of a second. Ahead of Scream in second, Matt Tibos there in third. Very, very good session going on early on in this session. Chris out on top, Scream in second, Matt Tibos there in third. Matthias, however, just about to start up on another lap, it seems. He's there in 15th position. But ETA Chris again out on top like he was in Saudi Arabia qualifying. It was him and Matthias in Saudi Arabia that absolutely dominated affairs. And I think we might see that once again here tonight, potentially. If we don't, I'll be very, very surprised. But Matthias is on the run now down in toward Brooklyn's corner at turn number 6. And his first sector, 27.1. Exactly bang on where you want to be on a first lap around this track. As Chris, Taupe and Scream are currently there, the top 3. Then it's Matt Tibbles, Patuka, Cross, Liam, and then Ben JS, who's now gone 5th even. Patuka 6th, Cross, Liam 7th, and Darry there in 8th position. Jay Hings and Pharrell on a lap, as well as Matthias now coming through the final corner. The old turn 1, in fact, coming through turn 9 at Cops midway through the lap. Comes now through, flying through Maggots and Beckett's in towards Chapel. 11 minutes to go in the session. Chris, Tolpain, Scream in the top 3, and Matthias is a 101.9 in the middle sector. 2/10 up on Chris in that middle sector. If the times on the top right-hand side of your screen is anything to go by, Matthias should be going quicker than Chris around here. Could even see, potentially, 24.9, I'm thinking, from either Chris or Matthias. Now coming through the final corner is the Dutchman. Blind Dutchman now coming through the flying corner on the run to the line. 25.1. ETA Chris has got time to find Matthias. Very good lap time. He is a reserve driver this season in Division 2. No reserve about it. He is crystal clear, along with Chris, above everyone else so far. And they are 4/10 clear, respectively, of Tope and Scream, who are only separated by 0.03 of a second. So, very, very good at lap time by Matthias. Going quicker than Chris. The front 2 miles clear the rest early on. As Larkin now comes through the middle sector here, running above with Papaya, Cullen, McLaren. Of course, McLaren releasing their race suits in recent days. I think it was on Thursday they released their race setups. And a 102.4 in that middle sector from Larkin, not looking too bad. The race suits, of course, pretty much mirroring what it was in 2023 in terms of the colour scheme. So we will expect a very similar coloured McLaren even, going into F1 24. The date for that, of course, still not yet known. As Larkin now comes through the final corner on the run to the line. Is he going to beat up with this lap time? He does. He goes third. 25.7. And Larkin is best of the rest right now compared to the front 2. Conor O'Keefe is on a lap time as well. But he, in fact, is actually facing the wrong way coming through the village section in the loop at turn 3 and 4. Not the brightest idea to be facing the wrong way. The Ferrari there down in 13th position. Be looking to try and get a lap time potentially on the board. But it's Matthias out on top, Chris there in second, Larkin there in third. Let me know, by the way, in the chat, the 5 of you that are watching, one of them is including me, if sound and everything is good, if everything is good in terms of visuals. Let me know if there's anything going wrong. I will fix it as we go through the session. At least it's only me tonight, so you can pretty much blame me for everything that happens on this Division 2 stream. But Matthias out on top, Chris in second, Larkin there in third. Larkin actually coming in the session and saying all good. Even though he's out on track, I think he might be in a bit of AI mode coming through Maggots and Beckett's through there in the McLaren's perspective. Rick Kirrish, though, a former winner here in Division 2. Now in towards the right-hander turn number 3 at Village. We'll turn the timing tower off on the left-hand side just so you get a clear view of the Alpine. We'll turn the telemetry off, actually, as well, just to give you an even better view of the Alpine running out down in towards the left-hander of Brooklands at the end of the first sector. What is Rick's first sector like? 27.2, so about a 10th off on Matthias' first sector, so not looking too bad. Rick has lost his way, to be honest, over the last 2 or 3 seasons here in League of Europe. He is one of the drivers that has lost his way just slightly. Maybe that younger talent coming through, maybe they just getting better than him, and it's very similar in sim racing in other leagues where you've been around for quite a long time. GL Gilles is a prime example in PSGL. He's been around so long, everyone has pretty much jumped past him, and Gilles is now right at the bottom. Rick is pretty much the same here in League of Europe, now coming through the middle sector. But Rick is going to try and aim to shut me up with this lap. 102.3 in the middle sector, looking good, looking quicker than Larkin as well in that middle sector. So Rick now coming in towards the right-hander of Stowe at turn 15. Got 28% of ERS left on that car, now in toward the left-hander of Vale and Club. Red Bull there getting out the way neatly to the right left-hand side. Now in towards Club corner and down this Lewis Hamilton straight we go with Rick to the line. And troubles Matthias and Chris with that lap time. Not by much, but Rick there goes third ahead of Matt Tibbles and Larkin. Matt Tibbles just starting on a run as well. That's his second run that he's going on to. Screaming through the first sector is 500s down. But Matthias, Chris, Rick, the top three currently with 7 minutes to go. Just less than that, in fact, here in Division 2 qualifying. Division 1, by the way, is also live if you do want to catch in for that. If you want to catch me racing in Division 3 and possibly winning in Division 3 later on, you can tune in for that as well at 8:10 UK time. And that is 50 minutes before Vendome Fest starts, which is going to be very, very neat indeed. Scream, though, I think, has made a mistake through Maggots and Beckett. He backs off his middle sector. 1.1 seconds down in the Alpine Taupe. And on a lap right now, improving. Matt Tibbles is next, I think, to come across the line, or one of the next to come across the line, but he again backs off as well. 4.7 seconds down in that middle sector. Maybe the case where they're just trying to run maybe a little bit of low fuel through this middle sector. Taupe now coming through the middle sector. Please don't stop on track this time. Taupe through the middle sector, 200 cents. He has gained a little, he has lost a bit of time there through that middle sector, but he is looking good. As he comes in towards Stowe at turn 15. As Darry is out of the session, that's actually on the right-hand side, just coming through, camera shot there. Murder just caught that on the right-hand side, crashing there on the outside curb, coming through Stowe. He's lost it and basically gone in the wall on the right-hand side. Taupe goes for the line, goes fourth, 25.6, and not a bad lap time there at all from him. Ben JS is improving, a 10th up in this first sector. Middle sector is 900 up, so he's not looking too bad at all, Ben JS right now. But still going a long, long way from it to catch Matthias and Chris, who are currently out on top, filling out the front two positions. And JS, though, in toward the final couple of corners. As I say, a very much a rogue Aston Villa fan. Now coming through the final corner, the papaya coloured McLaren on the run to the line, goes 7th. Not a bad lap there at all, just actually shy of his teammate there, so actually good showing from the McLarens early on. Standings-wise, by the way, you did see coming into tonight in terms of Division 3, the drivers' standings, constructors' standings, AlphaTauri currently out on top in terms of the constructors' standings, looking very, very good, I've got to say. Right now, in terms of the whole grand scheme of things, it is only after round 1, so I will read out the constructor standings when we get a little bit of a chance here, which I think could be right now, because I think we are on the lap times right now. I'm just going to try and find, if I can, the Division 2 standings, which will be very, very neat indeed. I will just get that up in a second. Bear with me. Matthias out on top, Chris second, Rick there currently in third position. Looking very, very good, as I say, in this qualifying session so far. I think though Matthias and Chris have got it between themselves at the minute. This qualifying session really, really coming alive. J. Cole is on the lap as well. Actually didn't see him last week, I don't think, J. Cole, in the session here for the first time this season in Division 2. Or say, I dare to say, a former league racing organiser here. Of course, the host of 24 Hours of F1 as well. The organiser, one of the main organisers for 24 Hours of F1 last year in December. Must be in February now. I'm sure there'll be another one beginning to get talked about very soon indeed. As Jay Hings there has left the session. Hopefully he can get back in as well. Just getting the team standings up as well. AlphaTauri lead the way on 31. Aston Martin second on 25. McLaren third on 19. Mercedes and Alpine fourth on 18. Mercedes ahead because of a better finish last week from their drivers. Alpine fifth on 18. Then Williams sixth on 16. Alfa Romeo in 7th on 10. And then Ferrari in 8th on 3. Red Bull and Haas yet to pick up any points so far in qualifying, and indeed from round 1 of the championship in Saudi Arabia, which really, really tested the driver's limit. I flicked the P6 around there because thanks to a penalty given, I think it was to MCR that was ahead of me, he got a penalty, which was very nice indeed, I've got to say. I've got to take the extra 2 points, potentially, but we are going to get forward into qualifying very, very soon indeed. Hopefully everything is all good. Jav even messaged me the standings, which is really good. I did get them up just before he sent that, so perfect timing from Jav's perspective, even though I did race 5 in the general chat a little bit early on. Matthias the Wad on top, Chris second, Rick in third. 2.5 minutes to go here in Division 2. Let me know in the comment section who you think is going to win this qualifying session and who you think is going to come out on top as well. It looks honestly between Chris and Matthias right now, and I would probably favour the Dutchman rather than the Bulgarian this time around. I think Matthias has had relatively decent results around this track, even though they've not been top 3. Matthias has had good form around this track, so I'm not surprised he's up there. And I wouldn't be surprised if he takes pole position here. Currently out on top, Chris second, Rick there in third, but Ariel Farrell on the run in towards the right-hander turn and 1 at Abbey. He is the first setup on a lap time. Next behind him, I think, is the Williams of Patuka, if I'm not mistaken. Coming through the final corner, it is indeed Patuka who's on a lap behind him. But Farrell now coming through the left-hander of turn number 3. In towards the left-hander through 4, now through entry corner at turn number 5. On the run down in toward the Wellington straight. This crucial first sector split. All pretty much speed-based through this part of the lap. 600 second down in the first sector from Ariel Farrell. We'll see what Patuka is doing in terms of his lap as well. 27.3 in that first sector, remember. Patuka is 27.4, but he is crucially up on that lap time through the first sector. So not looking too bad at all, Patuka coming through this lap. Coxey just starting up on a lap as well. The so-called Vietnamese driver. He's not. He is British, unfortunately for us. He's there down in P14 right now. Conor O'Keefe as well. Outside the 107% range. And 157.4 is not going to be anywhere near pole position right now for the man in the Ferrari. Ariel Farrell's middle sector down because he's invalidated. Patuka riding on board with him, coming now through Chapel on the exit of the middle sector. And a 102.7 in that middle sector, 7 thousandths down to Patuka, trying to find a bit of time on this lap time. Matthias has just started up on a lap. Chris is coming through this final sector. I think he's just been passed actually by Patuka, running down the Wellington, down the Hangar Straight even. Patuka now coming through in toward the final corner. We'll see what he's going to set in terms of lap time. Is he going to improve? Down in 13th position, unlucky for some, and he remains there. He does improve, 700ths of a second, but doesn't improve his position. Matthias on a lap time right now, 900 up through the first sector and looking absolutely imperious on this lap time, potentially for 24.9. Middle sector split's going to be absolutely crucial now for the Alfa Romeo. Coming through the middle sector. Oh, he's up. He's up by a 1/10 of a second. This is looking very good for Matthias. Only needs to find another 10th, and then he's in the 24.9s, which will be possibly about mid-pack, I would say, in Division 1. I'll check on Division 1 qualifying shortly, as Matthias now comes in toward the final corner. Coxey going P2, splitting him and Chris right now. Matthias, though, through the final corner, on the run to the line. Does he go quicker? Yes, he does. 24.9. How do you like them apples? Chris is 400 up through the first sector, and honestly needs a miracle from here to try and get even close to Matthias. Matthias is on top by a good 4/10 of a second right now. Coxey second, Chris in third. Rick there going fourth. Not a bad lap there at all from the Finn. Getting another lap times across the line. Scream going fit. Tope 6th. Matibos 7th. Chris low through the middle sector. His middle sector down. And he's invalid. So that is him done. Chris will not start no higher than third position as it stands right now. Larkin is up through the middle sector, 200s up. He's going to be one of the last to come across the line. We've got a Ferrari coming through the final corner in Ariel Farrell. That goes down the wrong way. He comes through the final corner on the run to the line, goes 8th. But good improvement. Found back 2/10 there. In that final sector, Larkin, is he doing the same? Coming through the final corner, goes 10th, finds 600ths of a second, finds time. In the end, Patuka retires back into the pit lane. Matthias is out on top. Coxey second. E-Tech Chris in third. Matthias absolutely imperious in qualifying. Coxey second, Chris in third. And put it this way, Chris won by only a 1/10 of a second last week. Matthias wants to now turn this into an absolute rout, potentially, here in Britain. He's out on top. Coxey second. E-Tech Chris there in third. Oh, as I take a very refreshing drink at the end of that qualifying session. We are just waiting for Patuka to retire out of the session, and then we'll be all good going into round number 2 here in Britain. Hope you're all enjoying the ride so far. Matthias out on top. No illegal blocking penalties, which is always good. Matthias is out on top, as I say, by 4.5 tenths of a second. Absolutely dominance. Dominance from the Dutchman. And there, just to prove it, 4.5 tenths clear. Matthias ahead of Ariel Coxey there in second. Good lap time, actually, from Coxey in second. Best of the rest in terms of Formula 1.0, as it's showing from Matthias right now. Chris there in third, with Rick there in fourth. Jekyll there in fifth. He did improve very late in that session as well. 25.5 to his name. And Screaming Sick, Tope in seventh, the two Germans. James in eighth, Farrell in ninth. Demol to run off the top 10. Then it's ERT, Larkin, Matt Tibos, Ben JS, Connor O'Keefe, and then Patuka top 15. Cross Liam there in 16th, and Darry right down at the bottom end of the field in 17th. Disappointing, Matt. Disappointing, but normally his races are better than his qualifyings, as proven, of course, in Liga Group F2 back in the day as well. But Matthias out on top could be making a statement potentially for a Division 1 spot this season, if he has got the time and the patience to, of course. Division 1, by the way, is also live. It is wet conditions in terms of the race. Looking out on top, Renz Thomason out on top. The EC8 man out on top from Mr. Nathan in second, and then Backy, the former QVR man, now part of TF10. He is there in third. So if you do want to catch that, this race start will be before the formation lap is already going in Division 1. It will be before the race start here in Division 2. So if you do want to watch that in terms of the race start in Division 1, you can do. If you want to stay here, though, that's probably the best thing to do, I've got to be honest, because you've got the best commentator in the house here, a two-time Liga Group award winner, of course, in me. But Ren's out on top. Nathan there in second, Backy there in third. I think Dakar, if I'm not mistaken, is the one doing qualifying, doing commentary for Division 1 as well. It is indeed those Scottish dulcet tones. Tell him I sent you there in the chat if you do want to show him some love. He, like me, I think, is on solo commentary, so we're both up the same path. We're both in the same boat tonight. And he's got an intermediate condition race, whereas we have got dry conditions at the start of the race. Whether or not we've got rain coming later on is a different thing, as the formation up is actually about to get going here in Division 2. Be interesting to see what strategies everyone is going for at the start of the race. I think, personally, softs, medium, softs is the strategy to go for. And with that, let's have a look at what tyres everyone's on. Okay, about halfway house, I'm not surprised. Halfway house between mediums and softs. Mediums are the more durable tyre around this track. Softs, though, are quicker, well and truly off the start. You can get away. ETA Chris, potentially. He gets Coxey, he gets Matthias, and then pulls away. He potentially could get maybe a 2.5, 3 second lead over Coxey and Chris. And then we'll be aiming to come in the pit lane, I would think, from around about lap 8. On a set of mediums, I would say around lap 10, lap 11. And then on a set of hards, which nobody is on, they could come in potentially around about lap 13, 14, and then transition through a double stop on a set of softs. Race, by the way, is underway in Division 1. Ren's leading the way through turn 1. Nathan second, Backy there in third. So if you are watching that right now, like I am in terms of this race start, then everything seems clean coming through Village. As soon as I've said that, there's a crash. As soon as I've said that, there is a crash. Rocco's involved, I'm not really surprised. CPI Trollray as well. Right down at the bottom end of the field, I think, was involved in that. Verstappen and Pisa side by side. But Matthias there out on top in terms of this session. There are the predicted race stop strategies. You can ignore that, apart from the bottom one. Lap 8 to 12 from a set of softs to a set of mediums. Bang on, I think, how it's going to go. And then on a set of mediums to a set of softs, then it'll probably be about 10 laps, and then you transition back to that set of softs late on. Remember, in qualifying, you do, from qualifying into the race, you do get 2 extra compound of soft compounder tyres for this race. So, do not be surprised if drivers maybe do soft, mediums, soft, softs. Potentially, either one of those I think would work. If you've got a safety car, then every strategy is completely out the window, and then it's all just a guessing game. Maybe follow the person in front of you if that is the case. As drivers are now filtering through, coming through the final corner, on the run toward the line, on the run into their pit grids. And I am going to go very boring in terms of my prediction. I'm going to go a Matthias Chris 1-2. Not sure which order. Matthias will win. Chris in second. And I'm going to go J. Cole for third. Why not? Coming through the final corner. Just waiting on somebody to take their spot. For now, 5 red lights about to go out here in the gantry. Beautiful helicopter shot. Actually, this 5 red lights in Division 2. And it is... lights out and away we go, and Coxie gets a good start compared to Matthias. Might pull alongside him in towards Abbey at turn number 1, but the Dutchman leads through turn number 1. The Alfa Romeo holds the lead from Chris there in second. Chris and Coxie there, second and third. There's 3 wide in the background between an Aston Martin and indeed, I think a Mercedes involved in that as well. Tope trying to go around the outside on Farrell. Chris there on the back of Matthias, already hunting down the man in front of him. And Matthias now is getting hunted down by ETA Chris. ETA Chris there to the inside line now and towards Brooklands. Can't cover that off, can the Dutchman? And the Bulgarian, the race winner from last week, takes the lead of the race early. Very, very good stuff from Chris. Matthias there in second, Coxie there in third. Very, very good start to this race early on. Apologies about a bit of choppiness in terms of the picture. That's just my laptop potentially giving up on itself. But Chris there leads the way, and J. Cole already looking for a move on Coxie as well. In towards Cop's corner, pretty much forces the move on the outside line. He'll remain in behind, I think, for now. The Mercedes there in third, the AlphaTauri there in fourth. Matthias right on the back of Chris, but Chris there on that side of soft, beginning to pull away. Out in front, back 0.5 of a second over Matthias there in second, Coxie in third, J. Cole in fourth, and now J. Cole is side by side with Coxie once again. Running now down in towards Stowe at turn 15. J. Cole on the outside line should get this job done. He does get the job done. He's into third on that side of softs. Coxie might come back at him in toward Valen Club. Not quite close enough though this time around. Patuka on the back of Larkin, 8th and 9th position. Trying to now seize the initiative coming through this part of the track. Could be a through goals Hamilton perspective in this early stage of the race. Everyone is through apart from D-Mort, who's into pit lane. Must have picked up front wing damage. That Aston Martin, as I say, was 3 wide coming through turn 3. And I think D-Mort was the one that got caught up in a slight collision. But he's into the pit lane, and he could be going for a set of hard compound tyres, I would assume, until he gets to a set of soft about 18 laps into the race. And that's exactly what he's going to do. Move happening now in towards turn number 6 of Brooklands. Scream for P4 on the back of Coxie. The TREL teammates locking horns. Mercedes and the Alpine coming now through the final, coming through Luffield for the second time. Scream there hangs on to 5th. Coxie there in 4th, holding on to that position for now. Patuka on the back of Larkin. Running out down the straight in toward the right-hander of Cop's corner. Not getting the job done. Chris, though, is thrusting to try and get away. There is Matthias in second. The gap is around 0.5 of a second, so Matthias is not letting them get away early on. Chris there in second. Now going to try, Chris in the lead. Going to now try and drag the second place man of Matthias out. It's about 0.7 of a second as they come past the camera position there in towards turn number 15. It's Farrell on the back of Scream further down the field, and Chris is out of the race. Chris is out of the race, and it's a VSC. VSC deployed out on track. Drivers bailing into the pit lane. Didn't see what happened there. The camera angles were absolutely shocking. But ETA Chris is out of the race. Coming through with the right-hander at Cop's corner. At Stowe corner even at turn 15. Out of the race. He's got 2 trigger happy, I think, on that curb on the outside, which has forced him basically off. And now is out of the race. ETA Chris, championship leader, race winner last week in Saudi Arabia, out on lap 2 out of 26. Oh, how the good can fall. And now that leaves Matthias potentially for a race-winning position. J. Cole is behind him, 1.4 seconds the gap. Coxie third, Screaming fourth. We're still under VSC conditions right now. Everybody that bailed into the pit lane, by the way. Rick Sutterhards, Larkin, Patuka, Cross Liam, Matt Tibos, Tope, Jay Hings and Darry, all set of mediums apart from Darry, who's on a set of softs, and there's Patuka trying to look on the back of Larkin immediately off this right start. Matthias leads the way. Might have been a little bit slow off the start actually there, Matthias. J. Cole now back with an 0.8 of a second, so he's clearly missed the start slightly. The VSC restart, maybe just over in terms of the delta time. As Matthias leads the way from J. Cole second, Coxie third. Screaming fourth, Farrell there in 5th. Conor O'Keefe there on the back of Benji S. DRS now enabled. Running down the straight here in towards the right-hander of Stowe. And Conor O'Keefe, the Ferrari, gets the move done on Benji S. He's through and he's into 6th position. Everyone else in a separate race right now, further in behind, Larkin on the back of Rick. Rick on under pressure from Patuka, and Patuka could get them both potentially down the straight here. It's right on the back of Larkin, running down the straight in towards the right hand of Stowe. Larkin catching very quickly on the back of the sort of hard runner of Rick. To the inside line goes Larkin. Beautiful car positioning there from Larkin. That is how you get a job done. Coming through the right hander there of Stowe. Patuka gets the job done as well. 2 for 1. Rick there absolutely shot a bolt going on that sort of hard. Initially, they're not going to be good. Probably until around about lap 11, lap 12. They are going to be so far behind the performance in terms of the mediums. Rick, I think, has made the wrong call there to go on a set of hards. He obviously thinks tyre wear-wise he can't get to the end of the race. I personally think he will get to the end of the race, but he'll have to go on a set of softs from around about when the medium runners pit in, if that is the case. Matthias though, under pressure. Matthias is clearly under pressure though out in front. Jekyll there in second, right underneath the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo, flying through now the right-hander of Chapel. 5/10 of a second, the gap actually. Fifth gear actually coming through there. 5/10 of a second the gap as a result. Matthias there will hold on to the lead, running down in towards Stowe. Jekyll in second, Coxey there in third. Everyone coming through very nicely in behind. We should see Jekyll's softs begin to wear off from around about lap 6, lap 7, and then transition onto a set of mediums, I would assume, for 10 laps, and then a set of softs for another 8, potentially. That is how we could look in terms of the strategies. But you never know. VSC already spicing things up now takes drivers who have pitted out of their comfort zone and out of their plans, potentially for the strategies. It's Matthias again on the back of Jekyll. Sorry, as I say, Jekyll on the back of Matthias, trying to look for the move done. If you're wondering what I'm eating right now, it is an ice cube. Got a very sore throat from a little bit earlier on. But we'll get there. Matthias there leading the way. Jekyll second, Coxey there in third. You're still yet to come in the pit lane. Are the front 7. They didn't come in. Everyone else did. Rick and Demor's the only exceptions on that set of hard compound tyre. Everyone else, apart from Darry, on a set of mediums for the ones that pitted in as Jekyll hassles the back of Matthias's Alfa Romeo. And the Alfa Romeo currently hanging on out in front by the Alpha Tauri. Jekyll, championship leading Alpha Tauri as well. They'll be looking on the back of Matthias, trying to get a better run compared to Matthias. Gets a better run this time around. I think Jekyll is not going to have a second chance at this. He's going to go for this to the inside line. Should be pretty easy. Matthias defends the middle of the road just in case, but Jekyll has thrown. He's into the race lead. Matthias tries to hook up back under, getting the switch back, but Jekyll now leads the way. He hit the front, but at what expense for his tyres? His tyres are going to be definitely shooting off as Ferrella's into the pit lane. That is early. That is early for a set of soft compound tyre. He clearly feels he can get a set of mediums to probably around about lap 16, lap 17, and then get a set of softs to the end for around about 9 laps. Let's see what he does decide to come in. Set of mediums on, so he is going to run until about lap possibly 18, lap 19 at a push. But he's going to put himself so bad in terms of the undercut around here. Undercut is so potent around here. He's got to try and rely on something. Everyone else is passing him who have already pitted in. Varel's going to be on the back of these guys. He is going to get undercuts. He will get back into the race. But remember, he's going to make another pit stop. And he's outside of DRS range for these guys ahead. So it's going to be an uphill task now for Farrell to maybe lay a hand in this race. I think all from now, from my perspective anyways, Farrell probably going to be going a little bit down compared to where we might imagine them to be when the undercuts do happen and when these guys, of course, in front come in the pits. Jekyll, though, leading the way. Matthias there in second. Conor O'Keefe is trying to hassle the back of Scream for 4th and 5th position. Jay Hings there. Internet definitely hinging because he has gone again. Second time in tonight's race he has gone. Conor O'Keefe there through and he's into 4th. Nice easy move there on the back of Scream. Scream now. Soft compound tyres are screaming because he's coming in the pits. Scream into the pit lane. Gets the car stopped. 37 mile an hour is the pit limiter around here in Silverstone. Don't want to do what I did in terms of a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits and going dead on 37 mile an hour coming in the pit lane like I did last season. But I will definitely not be repeating that again. Famous last words though if that does happen. The Screamer's into the pit lane. Set of medium compound tyres go on. So imagine him he's going to be around where Pharrell was, I think, in terms of a potential medium stint. Very wavy camera going on here in the pit lane. Can't get on board with him either, which is the best thing. There is Pharrell in towards turn number 1, though. Screams on the exit of the pit lane. Pharrell is ahead. That undercut again, very potent. And that Scream, as a result, is outside of DRS to Pharrell. So to put him now on the back foot, Pharrell on the front foot all of a sudden, and everything starts to change again. J. Cole, though, leading the way. Matthias there in second. 60% of ERS on usage for Matthias. If you are brand new to Formula 1, brand new to League of Europe, and don't know what ERS or DRS is, DRS, now with that rear wing open, gives you 20 mile an hour extra down the straight here at Silverstone, running down in towards Wellington and indeed the Hangar Straight, which is what we're on now in towards turn 15. ERS-wise, as there's J. Cole into the pit lane from the race lead, ERS-wise, basically as you break into a corner, you recollect the energy, and basically when you come out of a corner, and how Matthias might show, pretty much dead on, overtake mode down the straight there, using that bit up, gains him a little bit of extra speed, might be to try and knock Coxey out of the second range, but he hasn't done it. The DRS detection point is here, and Coxey is within a second, so I think Coxey has got DRS this time around. He does indeed, he has got DRS this time around. J. Cole, though, coming out of the pit lane, where are the runners in front? Larkin, Patuka, across Liam, all getting a significant advantage from that DRS train, from that VSE. J. Cole coming right out in the middle of this, I think. He's going to be right on the back of Darry coming out of the pit lane. Better news for J. Cole, because look at where Pharrell is. Pharrell is miles behind compared to J. Cole. That is a perfect pit stop, I think, from the AlphaTauri's perspective. He's in that fight. He's in that second race, pretty much, that's going on out on track. But crucially, he's now in the race for the win. As Matt Tibos flies past Tope down the straight into the left-hander of Brooklands, through and he's into 8th. Matthias still leading the way. Coxey in second. Now the gap 1.1 seconds. I wonder if Matthias is going to have one eye potentially on the pit lane. One eye potentially on the stream as well. If he is listening in. Hello, Matthias. Don't want to put you off in terms of me saying hello to you, but Matthias there leading the way. Coxey second, Ben JS there in third, Patuka there in 5th, hassling the back of Larkin. And Larkin there in 5th. Again, being hassled by Patuka, but Cross Liam's the one to watch out for. Could have a double toe. Running down the straight, the Finn, though, absolutely scythes down the inside line. Even before we get to halfway down the straight, that move was happening. Patuka through, Larkin struggling all of a sudden in terms of his medium compound tyres. Unless he's got AI mode and he's going to try and message me in the chat here. Looks very slow coming through this part of the track. And Cross Liam is absolutely all over the back of him right now. The Haas man, if I was him, I'd probably get the move done as Ben JS is in pit lane for set of mediums. I'd honestly think if I was the IRT man right now, I would get the job done as Darry and J. Cole are side by side in towards the right-hander of Village at turn 3. Then in toward the loop at turn 4. Michael might loop this around the outside, pardon the pun. Is now the AlphaTauri under pressure. Oh, pressurising the back of the Red Bull. The Red Bull, though, is going to try and pressure the back of the Mercedes. Ariel Taupe is so slow down the straight. Here comes Darry. Here comes J. Cole. Potentially a 2-for-1 moving towards Brooklands. They're side by side. The Red Bull leans on the Mercedes. Seen this before around here at Silverstone. Mercedes against Red Bull. Verstappen against Hamilton. J. Cole trying to now side his way through the middle of them both. And it's going to be 3 wide. And that was never going to work. They're all in the wall pretty much. Front wings fly. Darry out. J. Cole pretty much out of the race as well. VSE deployed again. Out on track. That was never going to work. And all of that, I think, was because J. Cole tried to side that gap up the inside line, parting the Red Seas like Moses. Unfortunately, unlike Moses, he didn't part the Red Sea that time. Didn't part the 2 waves and the cars. And unfortunately, J. Cole pretty much out of this. Darry pretty much out of this. And all of that could have been avoided very, very easily. And that, as a result, the VSC has turned this race completely on the head because Matthias and Coxey, as a result, get their first free pit stop. Wow. Drama. Drama at Silverstone. Matthias and Coxey leading the way coming out of the pit lane. Matthias is comfortably clear coming out of the pits and Coxey is comfortably second as Ariel Taupe has picked up a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. That might be him done for the night after that incident, but Coxey is out in second. Patuka there in third. Great news if you're the front 2. Bad news if you were everyone else in terms of the VSCs, and I know for a fine fact in Division 2 what the drivers are going to be saying after this as we get back underway. VSC safety car off. Safety car off is what the guys are going to be saying, because everyone that pitted in from the first VSC has just been royally screwed in terms of the second VSC that's just come out. But as a result, Matthias and Coxey have got 7 lap pressure tyres, and they're going to be pitting in later on, and they're going to be significantly ahead of everyone else as well later on in this race. Very surprised if they're not, but that will probably happen. Chris, across Liam on the back of Larkin. Larkin on the back of Tuka. Coxey there, though, is 1.9 seconds behind Matthias, and will try and get mediums now warmed up. Is he quick enough, though, to hang on with Patuka and Larkin in behind? His tyres are fresh enough. Should be relatively quicker. Of course, Liam is quicker than Larkin down the straight here. Down in towards Stowe. Of course, Liam Thuney's into 4th. IRT against ERT. 24 hours of F1 was their fine curtain call in 2022. Of course, Liam now getting the move done on ERT Larkin. IRT defeating ERT once again. He went Silverstone. Rick on the back of him as well. Coming now through the right-hander of turn number 18 at Club. Now in towards turn 1 at Abbey and Farm. Everyone else now trucking along, pretty much nearly halfway through here at Silverstone. If you are enjoying the stream, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. Division 1 currently going on as well, which I still think is intermediate conditions. It is indeed. They're on lap 10 out of 26. Judging by us in dry conditions, we're on lap 11 out of 26 and going significantly quicker, even with 2 VSCs, than the guys there on the set of Inters. So everyone on that set of Inters is going to be struggling there in Division 1. It is still Renz Thomason leading the way right now. And QVR out in second, QVR Verstappen in third. That race has changed. Gary already out of the race, and Mustache is already out of the race as well, as he is retired coming into the pit lane. They're about half a lap behind on what Division 2 is right now. So if you do want to tune in for that, you can do. If you want to stay here, it is all right and good in the world. As Matthias there leading the way. Stringing out Coxey. Coxey's strung out Patuka. Those fresh compounder tyres definitely coming into play. Of course, Liam, though, sarding his way through the field. Into 3rd position he goes. The IRT man is a man on a mission. And possibly the man, the only man, really, that's going to try and come out the pack and maybe give Matthias and Coxey a bit of a run for their money later on. But Matthias leading the way. Coxey 2nd. Of course, Liam 3rd. Patuka 4th. Larkin there in 5th. Rick in 6th. Then Mattibos in 7th. Conor O'Keefe in 8th, Screamer 9th, J. Cole 10th, Ben JSJ Hings, D. Morts, Farrell, top 15. They are the point scoring positions right now. They've been top 15 this season. And then Darry there in 16th as Conor O'Keefe hassles the back of the Brit of Matt Tibos. I swear I'm going to say Matthias rather than Matt Tibos tonight, I swear. For Matt Tibos, there in 7th, Conor O'Keefe in 8th. Now they're going to swap. The Ferrari breezes past the Aston Martin as he's not even there. Conor O'Keefe through easily and he's into 7th. Mattibos and 8th, Scream there in 9th. That threat of rain, by the way, that I mentioned in qualifying, definitely not happening because it is bone dry right now, the track. It is beautiful blue sky, sunshine. May have just been the case where they were changing their setups potentially. Yeah, Matthias leading the way, 2.2 seconds, pretty much the same in the gap between Coxey and Cross Liam right now. P3, the gap definitely closer. Tuka try and hassle Cross Liam potentially down the straight into the left-hander, or the right-hander even, of Stowe at 10.15. And there goes Rick to the inside line. To tell you about 8 laps in, lap 12, lap 13-ish, Centre hole compounder tyres begin to go into play, and Rick is doing that around the outside of Larkin, in towards Vale chicane. Larkin, though, doing the through goals Hamilton. Larkin powers through in the McLaren. Thuney's into 5th. Very nicely done. Beautiful switchback. He knew what was coming there, and he absolutely planned for it. Larkin, Thuney's into 5th. Rick there in 6th. Through goals Larkin in terms of that move. Fantastic stuff. Rick obviously on that side of hole compounder tyres just couldn't get the mid-level traction coming out of that corner, and as a result Larkin just powered through coming to the final corner. Watch out for that in Division 3 and indeed in Division 1 later on as well if it does dry up in that race. But in Division 2, Matthias leads the way, Coxey 2nd, the front 2 are clear of course Lee and Patuka. Gaps though definitely significantly less than what I imagined they would be at this stage in the race with everything going on and that second VSC coming out. But you never know. We are now halfway through, dead on halfway through in this race. And everything looking fine and dandy right now. Rick, in this middle sector, is significantly quicker than Larkin. Probably because Larkin's running out of ERS. Rick has got 60%, Larkin 8%. So Rick is looking all over the back here of Larkin potentially for this move. But I don't think this time around he's too far back, so he's not going to get the job done down the straight here. But he is going to stay within touch, and that is a big thing around this track, because you've got to stay in touch if you want a chance of winning this race. And a chance as well to get a big undercut later on in this race as well. As I am on my last ice cube as we go into lap 14 out of 26. Matthias leading the way, Coxey second, plus Liam there in third. We'll follow the battle for third for now. I am going to take a slight break. I'll be back with you in about 30 seconds or so. As soon as something happens, a yellow flag occurs. It is Ariel Darry there in strife coming through Stowe. I think he spun coming through that part of the track. He's now down in 16th position. Tope there in 15th. Of course, Liam, though, under pressure now from Patuka. Patuka really trying to get on with things now. Of course, Liam's tyres maybe giving way slightly. Now coming through the left-hander once again of Maggots, then through Beckett. And again, a bit of a slide there from the Haas. And now the Williams is there. The Haas, sorry, is there for the taking, because there goes Patuka on the outside line in towards Stowe. Easy as you like. Through into third. Gets a little bit of gravel on his rear left tyre. Not sure if you might have noticed that, but he did. And crossed Liam as a result, pushing those tyres too hard. He's in the pit lane, and he is sped completely into the pit lane. I don't think there was any stopping that, to be honest. He must have came in about twice the speed limit coming into the pit lane there. Plus Liam into the pit. This will be for a set of softs, I think, till the end of the race. Rick in for the pit lane. This will be for a set of softs, and then Jay Cole as well into the pit lane. He is going for a set of softs, I would imagine, as well. In fact, it's mediums. What do I know? Set of medium compound tyres going on the car. You can't get to the end of the race. They were going to push those mediums out. 12 laps on these set of mediums from this point in. Jay Cole getting a front wing change. Interesting. Not sure where we picked that up, but Jay Cole into the pit lane. Front wing change, I can only assume that was the incident that happened earlier on with the 3 wide moment and the didn't change his front wing. That's all I can assume that would have been. Jay Cole there down in 15, doing a good job. Division 1, by the way, if you are tuning into Division 1 like I am doing right now, Renz Thomason still leading the way, Kvyat Verstappen second, Fleddy there in third. Judging by how that race has gone, may have been a VSC or a safety car in that race as well. But Division 2, it's certainly getting really, really hotting up in terms of this. Bashi saying show Coxey. There is Coxey right now in second position, but there's Larkin to the inside line on Patuka, getting the job done up into third position. Coxey there is still continuing on. 24% of EOS he's currently got there in second position. Larkin third, then Patuka there in fourth. Coxey is doing a good job, but Matthias is just a class above Coxey right now. This VSC that got deployed earlier on has really helped him, because he is going to be on for podium here, guaranteed, I think, in terms of the podiums. But Matthias is just a class above Coxey right now, and again, I will second come in terms of the stewards and in terms of everyone behind the scenes. Matthias is definitely a Division 1 driver. If circumstances allow, I'd love to see him in Division 1. He's doing absolutely everything in his power to win this race, and that is what he is doing right now. Coxey, to be fair, doing a great job, pulling away from the battles for third, fourth and fifth and behind. Coxey doing a good job, but just can't live with the pace and can't live with the class right now on the tyres. Let's just face it. Patuka there on the back of Larkin. Larkin apparently is an 11-time HRL champion, as Renz has mentioned in the chat, as Darry there is retired from the session. So retiring in the pit lane is Darry, the Oriel man, down in P16. And that means everyone, if they continue on and there's no VSCs or safety cars and there's no more crashes and there's no disconnects and things like that, everyone right now is picking up at least a point, which is good. which is very good. Patuka on the back of Larkin, running down the straight. He's out of ERS, so is Larkin ahead. Patuka can't get close enough to the back of Larkin to try and find out a move, but I think we should see Larkin and Patuka in. Larkin was thinking about it there. Still stays out. This is Mercedes compound tyres they're staying out for. Can, as I say, get around 18, 19 laps into the race. About 14, 15 laps these lap times can carry, but the medium compound tyres are going to be so shot now that they've lost a potential undercut on Rick and on Cross Liam, as there is Darry's AI coming dead out in terms of that battle. One thing that you absolutely hate to see on this game, an AI car going to now retire on the right-hand side of the track when there's clearly, coming out of turn number 1 and coming out of the pit lane, room to pull off in terms of the coding and in terms of the AI, as Tope now comes in the pit lane, speeds once again into the pits. That might be him done again tonight. I'm not sure. He'll be coming in, I'm assuming, for set of soft compound tyres till the end. Patuka on the back of Larkin. Larkin there third, Patuka fourth. Conor O'Keefe there in fifth. Matt Tibos now through on Scream as a result as well. Aston Martin through on the Alpine, who takes no abandon coming through the right-hander there of Cops. Just running out wide. Matt Tibos there still in sixth. Scream there in seventh. And now, battle commences for P3 as we're about to get 3 wide, I think, down the straight. Conor O'Keefe is flying on the outside line. In towards turn number 15 at Stowe. In towards turn 15 at Stowe. Comes across on him and Larkin spins. Larkin spins. He's got the car back in the right direction. He's surely going to be coming in the pit lane if he wasn't already. Larkin, though, put further back in the field. That's going to be a steward's investigation at the end. Not sure if he just came across and there might have just been a lack of room there from the Ferrari man, who's also into the pit lane. Bit of a rush going on. Patuka was trying to get the job done and all that as well. Bit messy, but in the end, I think all blame lines with the Ferrari man, who just, in the end, I think came across on Larkin. Larkin was there on the inside line, not fully in front, and Larkin, unfortunately, is resulted down in P8, and there is sufficient evidence, I think, for potential steward's investigation there. D-Mort's coming through and battling there with, Cross Liam battling there with Rick through 6th and 7th. D-Mort and Farrell 8th and 9th. Farrell can get to the end of the race. D-Mort is definitely not getting to the end of the race on that compound tyre because he hasn't made his second pit stop right now. Ren's saying in the chat, ban Connor from Earth. Be very difficult unless he transforms into an alien at some point in this race. Could well be an illegal alien or something in this race. Might be transported to heaven around about now, like the Into the Barrier video back in the day. But Cross Liam on the back of Rick for 6th and 7th. Doing a good job right now. Matthias and Coxey still leading the way, still yet to come in the pit lane as it stands. Cross Liam with the only penalty bar, Tope further down the field. Both of them 5 seconds worth of penalties, Tope on 8, as Coxey is into the pits. So Coxey's into the pit lane. This is on lap 19 out of 26, so he's into the pit lane pretty much where I'm planning, honestly, to pit later on, if I'll be honest. Coxey in, Scream continues on, Ben JS is in as well. This will be for set-up softs to the end of the race. As I say, there's different variations in terms of the strategy, what you can run with. You can run soft, medium, soft, you can run medium, soft, soft, you can run medium, medium, soft, as we've seen with the early VSC. Could even see drivers on a set of hards. Anything can go in a 2-stop strategy round here, and it just makes everything a lot closer. There is Rick, there is Cross Liam, there is Coxey behind them. So undercut has worked for Rick and Cross Liam. That was the big threat, I think. Luckily, though, Matthias, if he comes in the pit lane, is going to be nowhere near Cross Liam, Rick, and Coxey, because he's going to be miles out in front. He's going to be about 4 seconds clear when he comes out the pit lane, if he comes in this lap time around. Which I think he should. I think he should come in this time. As Patuka in the background passes for Oriel Farrell in towards turn number 6 at Brooklands. Farrell, of course, Farrell Fury back in the day, if anybody remembered his former PSN name. Farrell Fury back in the day. He's furious that he's lost that move to Patuka. Also furious that Fury is not fighting Usyk in terms of the fight in middle of February. That's been cancelled because apparently Fury picked up a cut within a sparring session, even though it wasn't Usyk that caused it. Yeah, I know. Matthias there into the pit lane, though. From the lead of the race. Screen there in second. Around about a 30-second pit stop around here at Silverstone. Matthias in and out. Set us off compound tyres. If he comes out ahead, he's going to win this race. Quite simply, everyone coming through Vale and Club and behind us. A very long pit lane, so there is a potential chance that Rick, Liam and Coxie will be a lot closer than necessary. But I think Matthias is going to be miles ahead coming out the pit lane here. He is indeed. Matthias comes out the pit lane. It's going to be about 2.5, 3 seconds, somewhere around that sort of realm. Yeah, 2.5 seconds, just less than that, in fact, coming out the pit lane. Good news for Rick and Liam. They can try now get within DRS range, but it's only going to be for half a lap because Matthias going to use his excessive battery, going to use his excessive pace and get the job done. Coxie to the inside on and Liam. Getting the job done there as well. Picks up the DRS, gets better speed down the straight and gets Loonies into third. And he is going to try now hunt on the back of Rick. And I think, honestly, if I was in Coxie's shoes, I think about a move through Luffield, down through Brooklands, in towards Cops Corner, through Woodcote even, in towards Cops Corner. But he hasn't got the ERS to try and attack Rick. That is what's going to put him back further on in this race. And now he's caught them at the wrong. He's caught Rick at the wrong possible point and the wrong opportunity out on track as well. So Rick now going to hold up Coxie an absolute treat coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Going to put down Matthias 2.5, maybe even 3 seconds clear coming through this part of the track. Coxie now out on the clear though, bridges the gap, pulls to the outside line, gets the job done. He's into second. Liam going to try and follow through in that as well. Coxie there in second, Rick in third, Liam there in fourth. At least this race though, unlike last week where we had Chris and Matthias fighting out and everyone else absolutely in a different parish, at least this race is closer. At least this race is closer, which is always good. Coming through lap 21 of 26 onto that certain lap, and Matthias leading the way 2.5 seconds. Coxie second, Rick in third, Liam fourth with the penalty. Conor O'Keefe there in fifth, Patuka sixth, D-Mort seventh, Larkin and eighth, Matt Tibos there in ninth. I did say I would say Matthias with him. He's there down in P9. Farrell there in 10th and Scream 11th, Jay Cole 12th, Ben JS 13th, Jay Hings has had connection issues there in 14th, Tope there who's had 5-second penalties. They're down in 15th as Larkin lurks on the back of Mort and now lurks ahead of him. He's through and he's in to 7th position, running down the straight in towards turn number 6 at Brooklands. Neatly done from him and looking good as it stands. While there's a little bit of break in the action, I'm going to take my final break just to try and rest up my voice a little bit before the racing later on. I'll be back with you in about 30 seconds. And as I took a little bit of a break there, you might have just seen Liam passing Rick in towards turn number 15 at Stowe. Liam now Thunies into third, Rick there in fourth, and Conor O'Keefe there in fifth as it stands. Final break is done. Now, we're just going to have to try and power through my voice ebbing away. 5 laps to go. Matthias leading the way, Coxie second, Liam there in third, and Matthias, given that he's reserved this season in Division 2, gotta be honest, he is looking every inch right now. Division 1 driver doing a phenomenal job, and he currently leads the way over Coxie second, Liam there in third, Rick there in in fourth. You can tell my voice is going. Lap 21 out of 26, by the way, in Division 1. Campbell now leading the way, and it's Cucumber in second, Shadow Glow there in third, but Renz Thomason has just came into the pit lane, set of intermediate compound tyres on the car, flying through the field as the ET8 man. He is looking very, very good right now for a race win potentially, but he has got around about 8.2 seconds to find on Campbell, and that is not an easy thing to do at Silverstone in wet conditions, and especially because now the rain has stopped and the track now is beginning to dry as a result. Oh, and Liam has taken a huge off there. Big snap, not sure what the hell happened there with Liam. Huge snap of oversteer almost. Honestly don't know. Liam, 5th position. Big snap of oversteer. Got the car back going again. The cameraman was even surprised by that. Liam just snaps left. I don't know what on earth went wrong there. I'm not sure if he had a bit of oversteer. I'm not sure if he just lost the car. Oh my word, great recovery. You can tell he's all over the place now in terms of that. That has knocked his confidence for sure. But he's there in P5, still hanging on to that position. But my god, Code Brown, I think that was first Liam. And if that wasn't Code Brown, he's definitely going to need a new pair of underwear after this race. Matthias leading the way, Coxey there in second, Rick there in third, currently hanging on 6.2 seconds, 5.3 seconds even the gap over Coxey, then a further 1.8 seconds to Rick, then a further 1.5 seconds to Conor O'Keefe. This race now beginning to string itself out, and potentially seeing now what could be the first three in the first three here tonight, Matthias, Coxey and Rick. At least I got one of them right. At least I got one of them right. Cross Liam's off again. Not sure if again it's either tyres popping or if it's just maybe a wheel issue, but that's another moment of oversteer for the IRT man. He's only on 8 lap-old mediums. Driver's got 14 lap-old mediums earlier on in the race. It makes me think maybe if he's on a wheel, which I think Cross Liam is, if he's on a wheel, I wonder if he's having maybe force feedback issues coming through the corners. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I might be right. But I'm not sure, but I think he might be having force feedback issues just coming through the corners. And again through turn number 1, just again a slight lift there coming through. Again, not sure if it is just the tyres popping. It doesn't look like he's gone overboard in terms of the tyres. But then again, Larkin's on a set of softs and his tyres are not looking as good as Cross Liam's either. And Cross Liam pulls off the left-hand side. That is him done. That is him definitely accepting defeat. He has definitely got an issue with his wheel, I think. They're down in P7, Cross Liam there in 8. I think he just wants to try and get to the end of the race without those tyres popping. And without his wheel popping as well, because his wheel right now, definitely giving him some jip. Giving him some trouble. He's there in 8th position, but it's looking like a potential issue in terms of a wheel. Ren's saying potential pedal. We'll watch in terms of throttle and braking inputs coming through Maggotts and Beckett's. This is where this will be the case. Coming now through... You might be right, actually. Coming through there, only about 70% throttle on the exit there. And again, running out wide. Coming now through and towards Stowe. Picking up the speed once again. He's flat to the floor down the straight. There's no problem with that. And again, just looking to try and oversteer. I'm not sure if it is a wheel issue, or if it's a pedal issue, or if it's just a skill issue. I don't think it's a skill issue, but Cross Liam there in 8 is going to give me haunting nightmares, I think, after this race, after what we've seen from him. Final 2 laps of the race, by the way. Matthias leads the way. Coxey in second, Rick there in third. They look pretty much now shoot in for the front 3. Looking like a very strong showing here by the Dutchman. The Brit there of Coxey in second. The sole Brit going to be on the podium right now as it stands. Rick there in third. Doing a good job also. Conor O'Keefe in fourth. Then Patuka, then Larkin, Matt Tibos, Cross Liam, Scream, Farrell, top 10 as it stands. Cross Liam again may be in trouble in terms of either a setup, in terms of either pedals going. Just not nice, whatever is going on in that car. Let's try and bowl with him again. See if we can try and decipher what might be going on. As I say, down the straight, he looks absolutely fine. It's through the corners where he has that big oversteer. Coming through there again, running out wide, pretty much following Matt Tibos' line, actually coming through there that time around. But he's there in 8th position, and he's definitely not enjoying things. Let's just put it that way. Jekyll on the back of Farrell, now beginning to bring a battle of P10 to the boil. Jekyll's on the back of Farrell. This is looking easy for the man of the Brit. Onto the final lap of the race, the leader goes. Matthias, who leads the way. Jekyll through needs into 10th on Farrell. Farrell might come back at him on the final lap of the race, though. Matthias leading the way comfortably. 7 seconds clear now of Coxey in second. Rick there in third. Rick looking like he's just beginning to get back into this. Coxey might have just taken his tyres a little bit too hard. 1.2 seconds, not over until the fat lady sings. And Coxey there in second, doing a good job. I think he's done enough to hold on. Unless Rick can suddenly find those tyres out of nowhere. But we're judging by the overtake ball that he's got, I don't think he's going to be getting those mediums to the end of the race. And I don't think he's going to be picking up those either towards the end of the race either. But Fantastic racing here out on track. As I say, I really hope you have enjoyed the racing here tonight in Division 2. I'll be hot-footing it for a little bit of practice in Division 3 before my race a little bit later on at 8:10. If you do want to tune in for that, then that will be the case. Matthias, though, now coming through the final corner. Larkin and Patuka is definitely going to be an interesting battle down the straight. We're going to have to ride on board with that, I think. Now coming through Maggot and Beckett in towards Chapel. We will not miss Matthias coming to the line, however. Patuka pulls away from Larkin. That might be it for that battle. Matthias, though, coming through the final corner on the run to the line. The Dutchman is delightful here in Britain. Matthias to the line, takes the race win in Britain. Coxey there is going to be second. The Brit going to be on the podium. Rick there to finish the line in third. His first podium since last season for sure. Conor O'Keefe's to the line in fourth. Good showing from him. Larkin there in fifth. Did get Patuka on the run and holds on that position of Patuka. Got that run coming out of Chapel and maintains that position into fifth. Patuka sixth. Screaming seventh. Matt Tibbles there in eighth. Cross Liam all the way down now in P11 with a 5-second penalty. Overhanging him now P12 in fact. Was J. Cole, Farrell and Ben JS get ahead of him. Cross Liam there in the end in 12th. And Jay Hings, D. Morton, Tope who are coming to the line to finish 13th, 14th, 15th respectively. Jay Hings to the line will drop a position behind D. Mort. Gets 13th. He had connection issues, so we can totally understand why he was further down the field. D. Mort's there in 13th though, and Tope now coming through the final corner. Did well last week in Saudi Arabia. Britain not his track here tonight. They're down in P15 coming through the final corner and on the run to the line, and he finishes dead last in P15, but I think he's just picked up the fastest lap of the race. Either that or was a 5-second penalty being picked up for an unserved penalty. Could be that. But in the end, Conor O'Keefe gets driver of the day. Again, very lucky in terms of a VSC deployment. That second VSC really bringing things about in terms of the race. But in the end, there's only one man that can take the win out on track, and it is Matthias. Phenomenal effort from him, and he salutes the crowd to the top step of the podium. Even takes a selfie at the top step of the podium. Matthias, very strong showing from him. Definitely a force to be reckoned with here in Division 2. Not sure how long we'll have him for, but he is definitely here and here to stay. Matthias taking that race win. The champagne flows now at the top step of the podium here in Silverstone. And what was a very quick race, I've got to be honest, in Division 2, even though we had 2 VSCs out on track there in the mid stages of the race. Division 1, by the way, as well, that is about to finish. They're on the final lap of the race right now. QVO Verstappen leads, hanging on for grim life out in front. Fleddy second, out there in third. And I think QVO Verstappen is going to do it, but Matthias takes the race win here. Coxey second, Rick there in third. Conor O'Keefe in fourth, Larkin fifth, Patuka in sixth, Scream there in seventh. Matt Tibbles 8th, J. Cole in 9th, and Farrell rounding off the top 10 as QVO Verstappen wins in Division 1. Ben JS there in 11th, Cross Lehman 12th, D. Morton 13th, Jay Haynes 14th, Tope in 15th, and then Darry and Chris, the 2 DNFers, out on track 16th and 17th, respectively. That is the end of tonight's live stream. Really hope you enjoyed the action. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to the channel. If you're wondering what's coming up in terms of the action in the coming weeks, there is the calendar for you. We go to the Netherlands, which is a race that I won at last season as well. Next week in Zandvoort for round number 3 of the championship in League of Europe Division 2. Maybe a few sewage reports and falling out from that, but nothing major. Really good driving standards as a result. We are going to see you, though, next week once again, where I should have Nexus Bunnies alongside me as well. Please take care of yourselves. Enjoy your evening. Division 3 in about 27 minutes' time. Get a drink like I will. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, goodbye.